We are one nation, one people. When called upon to give from within, we come together and find that our capacity to help others is limitless. Here, we are fearless. What lies inside all of us is more than data. It's life. It's more than insight and medical research. It's vision and honor and compassion. What's flowing through America's veins is its diversity. The next great breakthrough will be found in each and every one of us. And what we find there will unlock mysteries, heal the sick, and eradicate disease. We ask for 1 million individuals to come forward and stand on this landmark in history. We ask America to do, once again, what she has always done. Lead the way forward. We're one nation, one people, but all of us are different. And it's those very differences that will lead to answers for generations to come.
This event will be recorded and may be photographed. If you do not wish to participate in a recorded teleconference, we ask that you disconnect at this time. If you do not wish to have your photograph taken, we ask that you turn off your camera. Welcome. The pre-survey is given to the attendees or participants of the CPGI activities. This is used to establish baseline understanding of research and the All of Us program. The survey takes individuals approximately 2 minutes to complete. So please, take out your phones, open your camera app, scan the QR code, and complete the survey. Please select BGLC, Black Greek Letter Consortium, for the organization. Thank you. The All of Us Research Program. There's a gap in medical research that only you can fill. So, the first step is to understand the concept of health research. Research is the process of finding out new things. Health research is the process of finding out new things about improving people's health care. Did you know that most health research has been conducted with middle-aged Caucasian men as the participants? That means that the medicine or treatment resulting from that research is designed specifically for that demographic. Communities who are underrepresented in the medical research are then at risk of experiencing negative responses because it's not the best for their body. Going forward, we need to do a better job of including all types of people in health research. The only way we can fix this injustice is with your help. So now, I'm sure you're wondering, what is the All of Us Research Program, and what does it have to do with health research? Well, the All of Us Research Program is a program led by the National Institute of Health, and it's working to improve healthcare through research. Unlike research studies that focus on one disease or one group of people, All of Us is building a diverse data set that can inform thousands of studies on a variety of health conditions. It is a longitudinal effort to gather data from 1 million or more people living in the United States to accelerate research and improve health by considering individual differences in lifestyle, environment, and biological makeup. All of Us is the largest and most inclusive health research program ever. So, we're all different, right? But when we go to the doctor, our treatments are often the same. Your healthcare and treatment should be tailored for you. This is called precision medicine. Precision medicine is a new approach to improving health, treating disease, and finding cures. It acknowledges that a one-size-fits-all approach to medicine isn't the best, because we know that works to treat me may not work to treat you. Each person is different, And precision medicine takes into account three factors: genetics, lifestyle, and environment. Ultimately, precision medicine can produce more accurate diagnosis, lead to earlier detection, and help create better prevention strategies and treatment choices. Here are just a few examples of precision medicine: your prescription eyeglasses, blood transfusions, an insulin pump, and even a hearing aid. All of these are great examples of precision medicine, and they each work to help the person that it's tailored for. So, let's talk about social determinants of health. A growing body of research shows that centuries of racism in the United States has had a profound and negative impact on communities of color. The impact is pervasive and is deeply embedded into our society. It affects where we live, learn, work, worship, and play, and creates inequities in access to a range of social and economic benefits, things like housing, education, wealth, and employment. These conditions are often referred to as social determinants of health, and they are key drivers of health inequities within communities of color, placing those within these populations at greater risk for poor health outcomes. So, want to know more information or even try to enroll? Here's the part where you become true participants. Let's take out your phones. You can visit the All of Us website at joinallofus.org/together. There, you can learn more about the program or choose to sign up if you're ready today. And even for a more immersive experience, you can download the All of Us Research app in Google Play or the Apple App Store. You may notice that there are two All of Us apps in your App Store. Please be sure to download the one named All of Us Research with the all-white background. It's created by Care Evolution. So, for anyone ready to sign up right now, you can go to joinallofus.org/together and click the Join Now button and create your account. And I can even guide you through that. So, once you click Join Now, you'll create an account. And once you've created your account, you'll be asked to give your consent. This includes reviewing a series of videos which will provide more detailed information about the program. These describe all the types of information you may be asked to give. Then, once you feel comfortable that you know what to expect, and if you're ready to give your consent, you'll electronically sign the consent form. You can do all of this from your computer, tablet, or smartphone, or at a partner center. You may also elect to share your electronic health records, which is a digital version of your medical chart, and complete the consent to get DNA results. You'll be asked to answer several health surveys. In combination with other health information, the answers provided in these surveys can help researchers identify patterns about how our lifestyle and background affect our health. After these initial steps, you may be asked to share your physical measurements and provide your biological samples so that the program can help researchers better understand how different factors, including our genetics, make up our participants and how it makes them unique. Before we close, I want to talk to you more about MSRS, the Minority Student Research Symposium. The All of Us Researchers Convention is a virtual conference that provides an opportunity for a broad spectrum of researchers. By using the All of Us Research Program data and tools offered through the Research Hub, researchers can showcase their work with colleagues, peers, and others who share a passion for advancing health research. The two-day virtual event will focus on researchers at various educational and professional career stages across two separate but linked events: the Minority Student Research Symposium and the All of Us Science Day. Greater participation of all racial and ethnic groups is needed in biomedical research. URMs represent over 30% of the U.S. population, but less than 9% of STEM PhD members and 7% of all physicians. We know that diversification of the biomedical workforce will help address the critical need that the U.S. faces to reduce racial and ethnic health and healthcare disparities.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the third edition of the Black and White Table Talk series, We have intentionally designed this series as an interactive engagement featuring topics that enhance our community's resiliency on issues such as male breast cancer, Black mindfulness, Black girl magic, and Black boy joy. We're kicking off tonight's table talk on hashtag Black Girl Magic with a compelling performance called Educated, Melanated, and Sophisticated, written and performed by Jordan Stokes. But first, let me introduce you to Jordan. Jordan Laura Alexandria Stokes is a senior at Valleydale Christian Academy in Hoover, Alabama, where she has been named valedictorian of her senior class. And she also attends the University of Alabama's early college program, where she has been named to the director's list 7 times. She is the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Allen and Diane Stokes. Jordan has participated in numerous community service activities, such as tutoring children of incarcerated parents, Adopt a Family for Christmas, Move Montgomery Mayor's Office, Feed the Hungry Montgomery, Sunshine Center, I Care for Battered Women and Children, Clean Inner City Schools, and Service Disabled Children. Jordan is a delegate for Congresswoman Terry Sewell for the MLK Freedom Center, Stanford University, a program that fosters civic participation. In addition to her leadership, Jordan was a speaker in the Jack and Jill America Inc. Teen Oratorical Competition in 2022. Jordan plans to attend the University of Alabama and major in chemical biological engineering. Jordan plans to continue her studies in a master's program at Vanderbilt University and then on to medical school. Wow, Jordan is really amazing. So now we present to you
Good evening.
Jordan. Now we present to you Jordan with Educated, Melanated, and Sophisticated.
Educated, melanated, and highly sophisticated. How does that make you feel? Well, I'll tell you how it makes me feel. It makes me feel empowered. It makes me feel loved. It makes me feel seen. When I look at my people, all I see is greatness. A lot of the time, when people look at the Black community, they only remember the struggles and our pain. But it is important as a group to showcase that beauty that was born from that struggle. Because when we celebrate our Black excellence, it reinforces that our voices matter, that our intellect is desirable, and that each family torn apart, each child left behind, and every sacrifice worth it. And we have done just that. We have showcased it to the entire world. We are the foundation of this country. You see, we have built the schools, taught the students, and fed the hungry mouths, all while being educated, melanated, and highly sophisticated. Yet, we see no praise. But that's all right. I don't need your praise. Because you see, I have 41 million brothers and sisters behind me who are out in the world creating greatness. From our sister, Kamala Harris, the first Black and first female vice president of these United States, to our brother, Dr. Charles Drew, who revolutionized the understanding of plasma. We are everywhere, spreading Black excellence all around the world, spreading dreams that will inspire little Black girls and little Black boys to come. Because Black excellence is our ancestors' wildest dream. We have come a long way, and in still my beautiful Blackness and intelligence has persisted. It has made me who I am. We are the descendants of royalty, and they will never take our power. The power that was handed down to us. Because even when we face inequalities, barriers, and racial discrimination, we prevail. We rise above. Now, I know everyone watching at one point has been told that they weren't good enough, that they weren't pretty enough, or have even been told to go back home. I want to tell you something. You are good enough. You are extremely beautiful. And you are home. Because remember, You come from a long line of Black excellence. We should be proud of where we come from. We should feel no guilt. We are worth it. We are proud, not arrogant, because arrogance says, I know who I am, but could care less about who you are. Whereas the feeling of pride says, I know who I am, and I care for who you are. Wow. Educated, melanated, and highly sophisticated. In the words of Marcus Garvey, the Black skin is not a badge of shame, but rather a glorious symbol of national greatness. I know the color of my skin, beautiful. I know the lineage of which I come from, greatness. Booker T. Washington. Because keep in mind, we are the foundation of this country, and we shall not be moved or overlooked. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Jordan. You have truly set the tone for this amazing conversation on Black Girl Magic. We hope to hear from you later when we go to our Q&A portion. So folks, get your questions ready. Jordan will be there with us. So I want to introduce our first guest who we're going to interview. Her name is Judea Asante. Embracing the Crown is a movement dedicated to uplifting, empowering, and uniting women of color. Cultivated by two women committed to sharing their life experience. On August 1st, 2014, Judea Asante and Shelby Atkins came up with an idea for a blog called Embracing the Crown that would document their journey through womanhood. They wrote about everything from the struggles of going natural to adjusting to college life. After launching the blog, they soon realized how many other young women related to them. In 2015, they redeveloped their blog into a much larger movement focused on empowering women. Realizing that as women, this journey is very challenging for all of us, and the best way to support each other is by sharing our experiences in hopes to encourage one another to keep moving forward. Through powerful events and workshops, Embracing the Crown is the connector that unites women and builds a supportive network. Since launching, Embracing the Crown has impacted countless people through their powerful workshops, interactive events, bold merchandise, and their uplifting social media channel. Their program addresses mental health topics in non-conventional ways. Although they focus on the millennial woman, their work transcends race, gender, and age. I'd like to welcome Judea to this conversation.
Hello. Thanks
Good
for having
evening.
me.
Good evening, Judea.
How are you?
I'm good. So let's jump right in.
Okay.
So I have a two-part question. The first question, what is Black Girl Magic to you, and what is it not?
Okay. So to me, Black Girl Magic is everything, but one major thing that sticks out is sisterhood. I feel like sisterhood is so important, and it has definitely carried me. Even with my business, Embracing the Crown, it's all about sisterhood and connecting us together, because you can learn so much from someone right beside you. You never know what people are going through. So sisterhood is so important. What it isn't, I would feel like, is this thing of being so strong all the time. I feel like it isn't, feeling the need to always be the one to step in and be the strongest and put yourself last. So I feel like we've been doing a good job kind of unlearning that.
Okay, thank you for that. So we've heard some wonderful things in your bio about what you've done and what you're doing. What are some things you've had to safeguard throughout your journey to get you where you are today?
I would say the biggest thing that I had to safeguard is my personal faith. And I say that because a lot of times I'm a big thinker and doer and dreamer and all of that. And sometimes when you explain your ideas to people, they may not get your vision. So they put their fears on you. So it's really important to just safeguard what you know in your heart is true for you, even if other people haven't done it, or might not be able to give you advice right away until they see it for themselves. So just safeguarding my faith was really important for me to be a risk taker and, take some steps towards my dreams.
Okay. Um, what do you do to protect your mental and physical health? Like, how do you take care of yourself?
So I've been learning a lot, and one thing is boundaries. I've been learning to really set boundaries because there can be stresses from family or work or school, whatever the case may be. But having those boundaries will protect you from that. So having strong boundaries and also working out. I fell in love with just fitness and exercise in all its different forms. So doing that just makes me feel good.
Okay. On one of your previous questions, you talked a little bit about the importance of sisterhood. So, tell me about sisterhood. What is that? What does that mean to you?
Sisterhood means everything to me. I mean, we're born with our family, but we get to choose our friends and we get to choose our sisters.
Mhm.
Sisterhood means holding each other accountable with love. Sisterhood means being there for one another. I recently moved from New Jersey to DC. So that's been a transition, and just being able to lean on my sisters and my friends and having them uplift me. It's really good, and being able to also support others. So it's a give and take. It's being there, at someone's lowest and at their highest, not being intimidated, but clapping for them. So sisterhood's everything.
Okay. What advice would you give to someone who's looking to be in your shoes one day?
Hmm. Some advice I would say is to figure out your why, figure out what you're passionate about. If you want to do a business, write everything, write everything down. Not just the fun stuff, the photo shoots and everything, but really write down like your brand vision, your goals, where you see yourself. Because in those tough moments, those are the things that you go back to. Like when you have an event and you don't have that many sales, you go back to your why and just realize it's not about that, it's a deeper message. So I think having a strong why is everything.
Okay. Is there any other advice or information you would like to share with today's participants?
Well, I will share one of my favorite quotes, which is I cannot control the waves. I can only learn to ride them, because life will throw you waves left and right. And all you can control is yourself and your reaction. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
That there is a word. I like that. I may have to write that down.
Yes.
So, okay. So one last thing.
Okay.
Is there anything that you thought we should have asked you, or anything else that you want to share that we
Okay.
didn't think of to ask?
I can just quickly go over my business. Embracing the crown. You guys heard it in the bio. It did start off as a blog, but we've done everything from mental health workshops where we go to different colleges and universities and touch on different topics. In the bio, we said we talk about like some mental health topics in unconventional ways. So, for example, we'll have an event. Let's say for Valentine's Day, it was a wine tasting, but once we got there, we talked about like love languages and being that person for yourself before you welcome a partner in. So we're not gurus or, specialists, but we do want to put together a safe space, and we can bring those people in because those conversations are so necessary. Especially with Instagram, it seems like everybody's perfect, but it's like, the person that you're double tapping on, like they have this perfect life, everybody's going through it. So why not just talk about it and see, what we have in common and how we can help each other. So that's my business, embracingthecrown.com.
And so, how do we find out? So, if someone were interested in learning more about how to connect with Embracing the Crown, or maybe engaging in one of your workshops, do you just go to the website? How does that work?
Yes, you can visit us on our website, embracingthecrown.com. Also on Instagram, Embracing the Crown. And we also have another page called Sisnick Garden Party. That's one of our annual events where we bring people together for a sisterhood picnic. I told y'all sisterhood is everything to me. So our event is called Sisnick. Bring people together, picnic. We all wear yellow. There's different vendors and all this stuff, all Black women. But yes, please, we even do workshops if you wanted to bring us into a school or a virtual chat. we're just here for uplifting people. So totally available.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, giving us your thoughts about Black Girl Magic, and for being an inspiration to some budding business women out there somewhere. We look forward to talking to you a little bit later and asking you some more questions. But so thank you, Jadea.
Thank you.
We'll see you in a minute.
Okay.
So now I get to introduce Amani Williams. Amani is a poet that hails from the Sunshine State. She continued her studies at the University of Alabama, where she earned a degree in public health in August of 2019, and is now in a graduate program in the College of Race and Gender Studies. While in undergrad, Amani earned a scholarship to compete with the university's forensic team, where she continued her deep and abiding love for the spoken word, competed in national competitions with other students from top-tier institutions, and independently participated in the world of poetry. She began writing poetry after her mother made her memorize and perform a poem for her kindergarten show and tell. Amani was awarded the Authoring Lucy Foster Award in spring of 2019. The award is given annually at Black Scholars Day to one student and one faculty or staff member who has made a significant contribution to the university through leadership, service, and support for minority student programming. And now we will have Amani with the recipe for Black girls.
Hello, my name is Imani Williams, and this poem is entitled The Recipe for Black Girls. My mama says we got Black girl magic. Says God made us special in her own image. I mean, just look at us. On one of them early days, she mixed together melanin shades and created you. I think she added extra sunshine to get you through the rainy days. Added flavor and seasoning because life is better that way. She put the moon in your mouth so it can find you when you smile, night or day, my darling. The light always finds you. Brown, ebony, jet, mancho, cocoa, caramel, chocolate, skinned girl, beloved, your melanin is magnificent. The twist in your hips make the world tip on its axis as it turns, trying to steal a peek at you. You are the world's obsession because of the magic you exude. I hope you look in the mirror with love, that you speak to yourself with joy. I pray your peace be forever intact in case the devil tries to steal your joy. And remember this, if you will take only one thing from me, without Black girl magic, no one can replicate your recipe. Thank you.
Amani, all I got is wow. Thank you so much. And I hope that you will join us for a little Q&A a little bit later. Maybe somebody has a couple of questions for you, but that spoken word was amazing. Thank you so much. Now, Amani's poem provides a perfect segue to our next guest, Latoya Scott. Latoya currently serves as the Assistant Vice President for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at the University of Alabama, with over 14 years of experience in higher education administration. Latoya holds a bachelor's degree in multicultural engagement and student development. She has obtained a master's degree in higher education administration and is currently pursuing a PhD in instructional technology with a focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Latoya is an accomplished executive with a strong emphasis on multiculturalism, leadership development, and civic engagement. She has experience with diversity instructional training, organizational policy development and analysis, institutional assessment, forecasting higher education trends, change management, curriculum design, program development, strategic planning, marketing, branding, and financial mapping. In addition, she's skilled in aligning training objectives, creating diverse and inclusive communities, creating policies and best practices to meet the growing needs of higher education. a committed professional with a well-rounded academic background and proven ability to implement change and cultivate sustainable relationships among administrators, students, staff, faculty, as well as international stakeholders in an effort to build sustainable, diverse, internal and external partnerships. Latoya is also a proud member of Zeta Phi Beta sorority, where she serves the community and the sisterhood by coordinating philanthropic opportunities and helping undergraduate members develop their event planning skills. Now we will invite Latoya on for a few questions. Hi, Latoya. Thank you so much for joining us. I have a few questions I want to ask you, and so please feel free to share your story with us. We look forward to hearing what you have to say. So the first question is, what is Black Girl Magic to you?
You know, it was a hard question for me to really answer. You know, being an African American woman, you think of Black Girl Magic as sort of this statement and sort of phrase. So being asked the question really challenged me to really think through it. So to me, Black Girl Magic is about having your passion for something, having your truth sort of shine through in terms of whatever you're doing. Also being unapologetically just you in whatever shape, form, or fashion you may have. Also making sure that you're not letting other individuals put their limitations on you. If you believe that you can do something, you know, you should see it through from beginning to end. Also, I believe Black Girl Magic is magical, but it's one of those things that you've got to practice at. You've got to be willing to give 100% of yourself to that Black Girl Magic.
Okay, so in the same vein, is it not?
That's a good question. I think Black Girl Magic is not isolated to one person. You think of magic and you're like, oh, it's something that I would never really be able to do. It's something that I may not have the skill set to do. And I think that it's one of those things that's just not limited to one person. If you're willing to put in the work or, you know, dream your dream in whatever shape, form, or fashion that may be, I think it's possible. So to me, Black Girl Magic is not something that is just isolated to one person. It's something that everyone can participate in.
Okay, so here's our next question. Now, we've heard some wonderful things in your bio about what you've done, what you're doing. And so my question for you is, what are some things you've had to safeguard throughout your journey to getting where you are today?
You know, one of the things I had to safeguard was myself. During this process, I had to make sure that I protected myself and that I didn't lose myself. You know, you can be highly ambitious, you can be highly goal oriented, but I had to make time for myself. And I had to be willing to protect my time. My time, I had to become someone that was very clear about time, expectations, and goals. So for example, being on this wonderful call now and have an opportunity to speak to yourself and everyone who is viewing, you have to be able to balance it all. It's one of those things of your time, your peace, your safety, your sanity is one of those things that you have to protect.
So that is a good segue into our next question. So what do you do to protect your mental and physical health? Like, how do you take care of you?
So, you know, the whole unapologetically you is how I take care of me. I'm the type of person that you could come to my house and I would be dribbling a basketball in the yard with my kids, or I would be skydiving, zip lining, and then I'll be at the spa and braiding my daughter's hair for their life, whatever it is they're trying to do that week. So the way that I sort of unwind and look at things that sort of safeguard myself is really just taking time for me and being unapologetically me. And I hate to keep drilling that in, but that's true. Being willing to be whoever I am.
Okay. So a follow-up question to that, you keep talking about the unapologetic you. What does that mean? Tell me
Well,
what,
that all
describe the unapologetic Latoya.
can describe the unapologetically you. You know, I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm sure the bio will outline that. And I'm a first generation college student. And I remember coming to the University of Alabama and walking on the campus and having a full culture shock, literally saying, what am I doing here? And do I want to go home? And of course, I did not go home. I had the opportunity to do some wonderful things at Alabama. As it says, I'm the assistant vice president. I've also had an opportunity to join a wonderful sorority of Zeta Phi Beta sorority. Also, I've had an opportunity to just really open some businesses in town, have family, things of that nature. But during all of that, I had to just sort of take a moment and say, what is it that I want to do? How do I want to do this? Like, we all have our own journey and path in life, but the great thing about it is I get to decide how this is going to unfold. So during this whole culture shock moment, that's where the sort of unapologetically you came in. I'm just going to be me. And I'm going to, as you asked me with the first question, if this is called Black Girl Magic, then I'm going to embody it, but I'm going to embody it the way that I see fit, and that I hope others would be inspired by and want to do themselves.
Well, thank you for that. What advice would you give to someone who's looking to be in your shoes one day?
Start early. Start earlier than I did. If you know that it's something that you want to do, and if you want to mirror some of the things or decisions that I've made, try it. Don't live with fear. Go out there and put yourself maybe in some uncomfortable, unfamiliar situations, but it'll all pay off at the end of the day.
Okay, so one follow-up question to that. Is there any other advice or information you would like to share with today's participants? One word of advice, what would you give them?
One word of advice. I would say breathe.
Okay.
Out of all of the mentors that I've had, sorority sisters, colleagues, people that I feel like have given me some really, really strong leadership, I would tell the one word, just be breathe. It's going to be okay. You're going to get there. You're going to get there in your own time. And you've got to be okay with that. But if you would breathe and enjoy the journey, when you look back, you won't regret any of the process.
Okay. Now, one last thing I'm going to ask. This is the very last thing. Is there anything that you thought we would have or should have asked you that we didn't? Something that you wanted to share or would like to answer that we didn't ask?
No, that's a good question. One of the things I would throw out there is that everybody has their own journey. So like the timetable, once the bio is read, it's like, oh, she's doing these things, she's doing those things, that's great. But everybody has their own timetable and their own journey. So one of the questions that I thought you all might have asked is, how did you get here? Like, there's so many different things that you could have chose in your life. There's so many avenues, but how did you actually get here to this moment? How did you get on this Zoom talking about Black Girl Magic at this point in time? And I would have said that the way that I got here is being willing to be vulnerable, but then also being very clear about what I don't like. So that's something a lot of times I think as women of color, sometimes we just aren't willing to say. Things I just don't want to do helped lead me to this path of the things that I did want to do. So I knew that I didn't want to work in an environment where I couldn't impact individuals' lives. So I went into higher ed. I knew that I wanted to give individuals opportunity to work and make an impact in the community. So I opened up a nonprofit and a for-profit. I knew that I wanted to have a larger community and sisterhood. So I was very adamant about joining a sorority. So to me, I had to go through a lot of different things of knowing these are things you just will not deal with. These are non-negotiables for you, Latoya, and that's okay. But by working through those non-negotiables, I was able to figure out the things that I was just very passionate about. And that's sort of how I forged my path to be with you all today.
Well, thank you so much for sharing some of your time with us. We hope that you're able to join us for a Q&A later. But until then, I guess we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So, really want to thank Latoya for that amazing interview. Now we want to invite Jordan, Jadea, and Amani back for a little Q&A. Unfortunately, Latoya will not be able to join us for this Q&A, but we have some wonderful examples of Black Girl Magic here, and we're ready for the questions. And while we're waiting for our first question, I want to ask each of you to provide me with, in one word, what would you say to our audience? Like, what advice would you give them? Just one word. Jordan?
With just one word.
Just one word. Is that hard? Do I need to give you three?
Maybe, because I was like, thank you, but greatness. Greatness.
Greatness. Okay. I hear you. Greatness. Amani?
My one word is peace.
Mm.
I feel like every woman, especially Black women, like we need to protect our peace at all costs.
Okay. And Jadea?
My word is do. I feel like a lot of times we overthink stuff, trying to be perfect, and just do it.
What's your one word? Jadea, what's your one word?
Oh, I'm sorry, I said it. Oh, I thought everyone heard me. I'm sorry about that. My one word will be do.
Do.
Yeah, like less overthinking and just doing it.
Okay, I like it. So we have a question from our audience, and anybody can jump in and answer this question. Who were people that you have looked up to, non-fictional or fictional, that have helped you cultivate your Black girl magic, and what qualities did they have?
Can I answer that question?
Yes, ma'am.
So I think it would have to be, I can remember, I'm a high school senior, but growing up, Princess Tiana, seeing her and seeing a Black princess with her crown and her beautiful dress. And also she ran her own restaurant. So I was like, oh, that's Black girl magic right there, running her own restaurant and doing her own thing. I think that would be my fictional character that I looked up to growing up.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else want to take a stab at that?
For me, I guess it said non-fictional or fictional. So Brandy as Cinderella was everything I needed for my whole life. I'm grown and I still turn it on in the background if I have to do work. I teach it to my students, right? And not only was it the representation, right, but you get to see Whoopi Goldberg as a queen, Whitney Houston as a godmother, and Brandy as Cinderella. And all of these are brown women who have accomplished so much and still carry themselves with class. So that's kind of who's helped me cultivate my Black girl magic.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. For me, I would say a bunch of different people, and anyone creative, like Missy Elliott immediately came to mind. I love creativity. I love Serena Williams too. Like, I love people that are very passionate, hard workers, things like that.
Okay, well, thank you for that. Those are some amazing examples, and some that I would not have necessarily thought of, but makes sense. Makes sense. So we have another question, and it is multi-tiered. So, what were things in your life that propelled you to get you on the path you are on now? Do you feel like you're on a good path, and is your magic growing?
I can answer this one. Um,
Okay.
all through my life, there's always been this spirit of sisterhood. Like I touched on it a little bit earlier. Like sisterhood is very important. I mean, just from as far back as I remember, I was put into different groups, whether it was high school or middle school, like different girls groups and Girl Scouts and things like that. So I just recognized that pretty early on that I was passionate about women empowerment, especially Black women. And then something that happened was I had an opportunity to visit Russia at a pretty young age. So when I went there, I saw how people responded to me as like a Black girl, my braids, my skin tone, and stuff. And that's what really fueled my passion for displaying Black beauty. That's something that's I'm super passionate about. So I think I'm on a good path because I'm getting more clear on who I am, on what my purpose is. And yeah, I definitely feel like my magic is growing, and I feel like it grows every time I take a risk. Every time I go out the box, like I said, moving to another place, that was a risk. And as soon as I took it, it just opened up a whole new chapter for me. So I feel like it grows every single time I follow my heart.
Wow. Follow your heart. Now that's something to hang on to. Y'all are dropping some nuggets today.
I would like to also answer the question. Today was awesome. So I grew up in a Black bookstore, which is like an anomaly in just the whole sentence, right? But then one thing that has always been able to make me do is I'm always able to dream. I'm allowed to see myself in other places. I can go other places and I can create anything because I grew up with people like me reading books. To me, my job was to review the children's books to tell the other kids what was good and what wasn't, right? And so I just kind of taken that with me, especially when it goes to writing. I do feel like I'm on a good path because I'm letting God lead it. I have my ideas, but at some point you just have to submit because you realize that some things are bigger than you, right? And every door that was closed on me and that I just boohoo cried over, another one opened, and it was 2 times exactly what I expected, right? So just trusting myself. And I feel like your magic grows when you trust yourself, like Jade said, when you take risks, but also kind of when you give yourself peace and you know that at the end of the day, it will work out. Whether it's how you saw it or not, it's going to work out.
Okay.
And also to that, with me, I think I'm a high school senior. I'm graduating in May, so I feel like my life is just kind of starting. But with on my path, I really look at these speakers that are on my screen right now, and I look at my mother, and I look at my godmother, and I look at my grandmother, and I just see like all these powerful Black women just doing their things. Like, because right now my mom is studying for this really hard, it's a law exam, and I just see her working and studying. I'm like, oh, I can do that. And I think that's what keeps me going and can see like, oh, one day I can get to where they are. Just keep at it. And I definitely feel like my magic is growing.
Wow. So I think this is our last question. For those moments when you feel like you just can't or don't want to go on, what pushes you back on your path?
I'll say my mom. My mom sends me she'll randomly text me at like 11 at night on some random day and ask me my goals. And then 6 months later, send them to me and be like, how much of this did you accomplish?
Oh, wow.
And it's just so wonderful to have this relationship with her that's healthy and supportive. So I'll say my mother always gets me back on track.
Yeah, I would say my mother as well. And just all the adults in my life that I see working, and they have this and that, and I just see them. And if I look at that, that's if I'm feeling down with like a math problem can't accomplish, like, oh, this class is bothering me. If I take a moment, breathe, and just rethink, that's what will get me back on my path.
I think for me, it's a few different things. One big one for me was learning like feelings aren't facts. Like in the moment, you may feel a certain way, you may feel down, you may feel like this person was the best. You won't find, whatever the case may be. But the fact is like, you will keep it moving. You will rise again, just like you did before. So just getting really clear on that, letting feelings pass. Another thing is like I learned different, I guess you would say like coping strategies for when you're feeling down. Because when I moved, I noticed like, oh, I don't always have my family, like I did before, friends right near me. So I just learned little things, whether it's a YouTube tutorial to get me up and moving, or, reading a book or whatever it is, but just finding little things that bring yourself joy. Try to do those things.
Wow. I mean, you guys have shared some wonderful insight, and I think that each of you are great examples of what Black Girl Magic is, because Black Girl Magic is not just one thing. It is the embodiment of each individual person and their combined talents and their capacity to transcend adversity and to make great greater, whatever that adversity may look like, because people come from different backgrounds and have different situations, and we can make some amazing things happen. I think that is the strength of our people in general, is that we can take something and make it what somebody else sees as nothing. We can make it amazing. And so that is evident in the fact that Miss Jordan, with her spoken word and the way that she presented at the oratorical contest, and she brought that word here for us. Miss Amani always doing her thing. I'm like, that recipe was amazing. And Miss Judea and embracing the crown. I look forward to spending some time on a deep dive on your website and looking at your blog. That I'm inspired. And we cannot forget Miss Latoya, who wasn't able to join us for the Q&A, but she is the mother, the CEO, the AVP, and all the alphabets that you can think of. And she's making that thing work, all while taking care of her family and finishing her dissertation. So that is just a testament to how amazing you all are. And there's so many more amazing stories we could have told, but your stories were the right stories for this moment. And I appreciate each and every one of you for participating. Now, we just have one last bit of business to take care of. We are here because we're talking about the All of Us program, and we are going to, in a moment, put up our post survey. But we don't want you to stop there. We want you to take the post survey so that you can talk about what you learned about the program. But also, we want you to visit the website. We want you to go and get more information from joinallofus.org/together, because it is a very important program. It is vital to all people, most specifically to me, people of color. And so I'm going to leave you with this thought. It takes all of us. Visit the website. Please take our post survey. And thank you for your time and attention this afternoon.
So, just as we did a pre-survey assessment, we will now do a post-survey assessment. And the post-survey assessment is given to capture data points that measure outcomes related to the program and to the activity. The assessment takes approximately 3 minutes to complete. So please take out your phones once again, open your camera apps, scan the QR code, and complete the post-survey assessment. And please choose BGLC for the organization. and the BGLC thanks everyone for their time and participation.